Members of Parliament are due to debate and vote on the Section 89 independent panel report into the Phala Phala saga. The African Transformation Movement say the only way MPs can be protected and vote freely is through a secret ballot. They have asked the Speaker yet again today to hold that ballot in secret. The ANC, of course, wants its members to vote against the report. Now, we know that that report, put together by 3 independent legal minds, found that there's a prima facie case to move forward with the impeachment process against the President. So should the majority of members of Parliament vote in favour of the report tomorrow, it would then pave the way for setting up the next stage of the impeachment process, which would be an impeachment committee that would have a lot of powers to call people, to speak to people, to ask questions around what happened on President Cyril Ramaphosa's farm in February 2020. Well, let's get a preview of what we can expect tomorrow. eNCA senior reporter Aviwe Mtila has been tracking the very latest developments on that story. Aviwe, thank you so much for joining us. So talk to me about the logistics, because one of the reasons that this special debate was delayed for a week was to make sure that everyone could vote in person. So tell me where it's happening, how is it all going to unfold, what are the timings?
Good afternoon, Sally. And we do understand the report itself, of course, tabled by the Section 89 panel is why we're here. So given that Parliament burnt down just about a year ago, we'll be commencing a year and on the 1st of January, now that will be held at the City Hall. The logistics are just being finalised at the moment. In fact, I was told by Maloto from Parliament that they're just finalising a few things at the moment, but definitely at the City Hall at around 2 p.m. that will be heard. You know, there's a number of court cases, in fact, that are being pursued by the ATM, currently 2 of them at this moment. I was speaking to the President, Zungula, of the ATM, suggesting that they've, of course, remember the President has taken this Section 89 report on review. They're challenging that in court. He just finalized the affidavit, and that is in the High Court in the Western Cape at the moment. The other one is whether the votes themselves will be on secret ballot or not. We do know that the Speaker of Parliament is just applying her mind to that, and Zungula suggested that once they have that confirmation, whether it be tonight or early morning, whether it will be voted indeed by secret ballot or it will be voted openly in Parliament, then they'll also act on that. So their lawyers are on standby at this current moment, but we do understand, of course, at City Hall tomorrow, the MPs will be there in person, and they will be then discussing the Section 89 report itself, and then they will vote on whether to go ahead with the Section 89 inquiry itself. That's the ad hoc committee that will look further into the impeachment process and, of course, all those allegations around the Phala Phala farm saga, and calling in people in person to give evidence or just what they know about what happened exactly at the farm theft at the Phala Phala farm.
All right, so at this point, as things stand, and you say that the Speaker has been asked by the ATM again to please hold this vote in secret, but as things stand, it's an open vote. Do you know the logistics of how it's going to be done? Is it going to be a show of hands? Will every person have to come up and say what they feel? Do you know the details of how the voting will unfold tomorrow?
Well, those are the details that we'll be ironing out, actually, Sally, in the early hours of the morning, as we'll be given a walkabout by Parliament himself. Maloto Mapoba from Parliament will be giving us the walkabout. He was saying in the conversation that I was having with him that it's some of those details that they're currently ironing out with the Speaker themselves. But we do understand it could be by a show of hand at as things stand at the moment. But those are the contentious issues that are actually being delved upon by the ATM, saying that they wanted to be in the secret balance. Remember, when this was first brought up, the Speaker suggested that according to the Constitution, members of Parliament have to act openly. Hence, at first, she rejected that ATM plea to have it by secret ballot. It's something that they've taken once again to court, and they're saying that they're now waiting the response from the Speaker, and therefore then will pave a way forward. if they do not get what they want, their lawyers are on standby at this current moment.
Now, we know that the ANC National Executive Committee has already come out in support of voting against this report, largely because the President is taking the Phala Phala review panel report. He's taking it on review himself. But at the same time, we know that ANC MPs are meant to follow the party line. However, we know, for example, the Cooperative Governance Minister, Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, said when the report was released that the President should step down. Now, she's going to have to backpedal a little bit if she votes against the report tomorrow. So quite an interesting situation developing for a number of ANC MPs. Talk to me about what sanction ANC MPs who vote in favour of the report could face. Any word from the ANC on what's going to happen to them?
Well, dire consequences, we are told. Even Oscar Mabuyana, of course, telling the Eastern Cape delegation that they should toe the party line and they'll face the consequences thereof if they do not do that. It's a sentiment that's reverberated by most of the NEC members. Even just earlier on, I remember my colleague Moloko Moloto speaking to one of the NEC members in Mpumalanga, also reverberated that in fact the members that are to vote tomorrow, they are to toe the party line. But of course we do know, for example, I'm reliably informed by one of the MPs, Sally, that will be voting for the impeachment inquiry to be happening, that they're actually meeting this very moment. Some of them here in Cape Town has been trying to chase comment from them, unsuccessfully so. But after that meeting, we should get a better idea of what's going to happen. But a lot of them are meeting at this current juncture, possibly telling out what numbers they have, but they're certain that it's their constitutional right to speak for the people of the country, and they're saying that their voices of the people of the country, more so of the party. But you do know the party itself is telling them to toe the party line, given that the President has taken this on review. But we do know those court processes as well, where the ATM, for example, the party, is saying that the President should not take it on review. They've had a counter court case that's in court this very moment.
All right. Well, thank you for that update, and do keep us posted on what you're hearing, both in terms of the ATM possibly launching another challenge against the Speaker over the way that ballot is going to be held tomorrow. Thank you so much, Aviwe Mtila, of course, our senior reporter, coming to us live from Cape Town.